New at 5, Rhode Island's top election official will not be seeking to disqualify former President Donald Trump from the state's presidential primary.
That's after an unprecedented decision by the Colorado Supreme Court, potentially removing the former president from the ballot there. 12 News reporter Alex Torres-Perez joins us now live in studio with a breakdown of the decision and the impact it will have on the next election. Alex?
Mike and Shannon, Colorado's Supreme Court based their decision off Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which basically bars insurrectionists from federal or state office. They ruled Trump's involvement in the January 6th attack on the Capitol means he can't run for office again. In a historic 4-3 decision, Colorado's Supreme Court ordered former President Donald Trump's name be removed from the state's primary ballot because of a Civil War era amendment. Trump calling it, quote, a sad day in America. And this voter in Johnston agrees.
I think it's a terrible thing. It really is. They're trying to railroad this guy, and they're going to set a bad precedent in this country if that happens.
The Colorado ruling does not apply to other states, but it could spark others to take action, and there have already been attempts. There are at least a dozen states where Trump disqualification lawsuits are pending. And just last month, a judge dismissed a lawsuit attempting to take Trump's name off the ballot in Rhode Island because the First Circuit Court of Appeals ruled the plaintiff, who's running as a write-in candidate for president, failed to prove he had a standing in an identical case out of New Hampshire. A spokesperson for Rhode Island Secretary of State Greg Amore says they're not aware of any other lawsuits in Rhode Island at this time. And the office is not seeking to disqualify Trump from the primary ballot, saying, quote, Secretary Amore believes that the rhetoric of the Trump campaign, as well as the actions that took place on and before January 6, represent a real threat to our democracy. With that said, he believes that any qualifying candidate should not be denied access to the ballot. It is widely expected the Trump campaign will appeal the Colorado case to the U.S. Supreme Court. And Amore says he's waiting to see how that plays out before deciding anything further. And there is a pause on the Colorado Supreme Court's decision, so Trump's name will remain on the ballot pending the outcome of the likely appeal. However, if Trump's name is taken off the ballot, the Colorado Republican Party said it will withdraw from the primary and move to a pure caucus system. Reporting live in studio, Alex Torres-Perez, 12 News.